Hi there, Shauna Mahaney, Superstar Director for Group Scentful Bliss, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how I run my home party experiences with Scentsy. The most important thing is that you are relaxed. You go in there and you just are there to have fun. You know the ultimate goal of my parties is that I'm going to come out and I'm going to have 2 bookings and 1 recruit. And I found that if I go in there and I'm completely stressed out and overwhelmed and I make it a big, huge thing, then nobody wants to be a consultant because nobody needs that extra stress in their life. And I want to make it easy on my hostess. I don't want to go in and them think, oh my gosh, she's been working on this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and there's no way I'm going to host a party for this lady because it's just too much work. So those are the most important things. Be relaxed. Be you. Remember that ultimately you are the expert. You may not feel like the expert. You may feel like you know nothing about what you're doing. But the truth is, in their eyes, you're the expert. So, I am very, very, very strict with myself that I can get in to their house to set up 1 trip. Just 1 trip. Because again, I don't want somebody to think I can't join Sensi because I can't afford all that product, and 2, I don't want to lug it around. So I make sure I can get in 1 trip. That's super important. And another thing is, you don't want them to think that they have to buy, like I said, they don't have to buy all this product. They can absolutely do a amazing Scentsy party with what comes in their kit. So what do I use? I use the big Scentsy duffel bag that is in the Scentsy store. That's what all my product goes in. And then I use this bag. Let's see if I can grab it. Okay, I use this bag right here. You can see this. This is a new bag that Scentsy put out, and I absolutely love it. It opens up like this, and inside of here you can keep all of your paper supplies, everything that you need in there. And in the bottom I keep my testers. Now I do use the large party testers for my parties, my home parties, and that's just a personal preference. You don't have to do that. It's just what I like to do. I try to get to my party about 30 minutes early, not much more before that, 30 to 40 minutes early max. And the reason is because I don't want her to feel like, oh my gosh, this lady's been at my house for the last, 3 hours. My setup is simple. It is so simple. And it takes me literally 15 to 20 minutes to get it set up. When I get there, like I said, I get there a little early. I make sure I get my setup done. I always carry my own table. Now, a lot of times they will have a table for you to use, but I always have a table in the trunk just in case. And an extension cord. Those are 2 things: table, tablecloth, and extension cords. Those are the 3 things that I always try to keep with me at all times because those are the items that I tend to forget. So I get there, 30, 45 minutes early. I set up my stuff, and then I'm there to help her. I'm there to hold the baby. If she needs me to hold the baby while she finishes the snacks. Do you need me to put ice in glasses? What do you need from me? Now, I'm not going to go into the Hostess Coaching because I've already done another video on that. But that's still, that prior to the party stuff, that's still good Hostess Coaching. Now, when it is time for the party, I am prepared for every guest as they walk in the door. I just use these little bags. These are our bar bags, catalog bags is I think what they're called. And I ask my hostess a couple of days before how many she's expecting. And I get these little bags ready. And I always have, 2 or 3 extra beyond what she says she's expecting because you just never know. And I just tie them together with this little cheap ribbon. Now, what is inside of this bag is everything that they are going to need for the guests at the party. I find that this is the easiest way for me because then they have everything at their fingertips. They don't need, I'm not trying to keep continuously finding things and digging things out, bending over under the table, none of that. So let me just kind of briefly show you what's in this. I have the fall, winter, like it, love it sheets. I have, of course, I have a catalog. I have a lot of extra scent circles from one of the sales, so sometimes I use those, or I might just put a sample in there, just depends. Business card, holiday or harvest brochure, or whatever possible brochures you've got going on. If it's Bring Back My Bar, I'll probably have a brochure about that in there. My Scentsy Go brochure, my Scentsy Life brochure, and I don't have one over here, I also put a product sheet in there, one that I fold up in thirds, because that way, and I tell them as we're going through this party, if you see something you just love, circle it on this product sheet. It'll make the checkout easier. Any other personal specials I'm doing, I put that in there. Like this month I'm doing this layaway, I do that. Now the one thing you'll notice I don't put in there is a order blank. And I have order blanks with me, but I don't put them in there, and the reason why is it's super important to me that I fill this out. I've given them those product sheets. I want them to circle the big items that they want on that product sheet, and I've given them these to pick their scents, okay? So when it comes time to check out, I'm going to show you how I do that, but I'm going to have them this at that point. So the party is getting ready to start. I try to start my party as close to on time as possible because not everybody wants to be there all night, and I know that there's going to be stragglers, and that's okay. I do an on-time drawing, and I tell my hostess that in the hostess coaching. That seems to help get the party started a little bit early. And I just do a little on-time drawing. Now, I have tickets, and I carry these tickets with me. You can get them at any of your office supply stores by the rolls, big rolls. And I keep these with me most all of the time. And so as I'm doing door prizes, they're getting these tickets, okay? So the on-time door prize people, they're going to get an extra ticket. I have a little basket on my table. I'm putting those in there. Now, I am doing drawings throughout my party. What is in my door prize basket? This is all kinds of things, from discontinued bars, scent circles, samples, any little thing that I want to give is in there. So we start the party right on time. Now, I always start the party off by thanking my hostess. And the way I've been doing that as of late is I do a game called Text Me. And I tell everybody that they are going to get out their phones and they are going to text me. And what I want them to text me is 1 or 2 words that best describes the hostess. Then the hostess, as these texts are coming in, I'm going to read them to the hostess, and the hostess is going to try to guess who said what. It's just a fun game. It's not a big deal. It's really no big deal. But I tell them to enter my phone number and then enter my name as Shauna and the last name is Sensi Lady. Okay? So what am I doing here? Well, I'm getting myself set up so that I'm now in their phone and their contacts, and they're now in my phone and my contacts. So as I read off the text and the hostess gets to ask who it is, whenever she guesses it, or if she doesn't guess it, I type their name in my phone, and their names go in my phone as under the first name is their first and last name, and their last name is client. It just makes my follow-up a lot easier. So we start with that game, and then sometimes if it's a new group of people that I haven't been with in a while, I do the Scentsy Story game. And the Scentsy Story game, you can find that under the resources, or I can get it for you either way. But it just basically tells the background of Scentsy. And you can pass a scent circle around every time you say the word Scentsy. And whenever you're done with the story, whoever gets it wins it. Okay, super, super simple. Sometimes I play a little quiz with them in the beginning of the thing. It just really depends on my crowd. So the next thing is I'm going to go into my demonstration. Now the important thing with your demonstration is that it does not go over 30 minutes. People don't have that long of an attention span. I tell them every time they ask a question, they're going to get a ticket, okay? So this is going to help them keep asking those questions, because the more they interact with you, the better your party's going to go. How do I do my presentation? I start with the simplest things first. I start with wax and warmers. That's where Scentsy started, so that's where I start at. So I'm starting with wax and warmers. I explain the safety features of Scentsy, how our cords are contained and they're not lying against the light bulb. I explain how our wax works. I explain what our wax is made out of, how long the wax works, smells, how to clean your warmer out. I usually give them the little tip on the cotton ball. I explain to them how our fragrances have 3 levels: the base notes, the high notes, and the mid notes and high notes. We go through those things, and we talk about wax and warmers. And then I talk about the warmers. I talk about the element warmers and the light bulbs, no light bulbs. I talk about the standard $30 warmers, the $35 warmers, the specialty warmers, and I do my test to show them that I can put my finger in the wax. It's not going to burn you. And this is where we're going to start talking about what I've taken to my party, okay? So I've taken to my party, make sure I have an element, and I make sure I have a regular warmer, and I make sure I have a plug-in warmer with a plug-in base. So I've covered all of these bases. Now again, remember, I'm handing out tickets. This is all very interactive. And every now and then I'll stop what I'm doing, I'll do a drawing, and somebody can pick something out of the goodie bag. So the next thing I go into is the next thing that Sensi had, which is some of our on-the-go products. So during on-the-go products, I'm talking about travel tins, room sprays, scent circles, car bars, any of that to-go stuff. We're going to talk about that. Then the next thing, we're going to talk about buddies. I talk about the buddies. I talk about charitable warmers and charitable giving. Whatever our charity is of the season. I talk about the clean products. So then I'm going to go into clean. Again, every single time somebody's asking me a question, they're getting a ticket, okay? And there are a lot of questions being asked. So we're going to do the clean products. We go through the clean products. And at this point, I have a diffuser going, and I haven't mentioned it yet, okay? I have not mentioned it. And so I will say something like, okay, I know all of you are eyeing my diffuser because it's beautiful, right? Let me explain it to you. I go through the diffuser. I then start on the Scentsy Go because I'm ending my party with Scentsy Go because I think they're fabulous. So I end my party with the Scentsy Go, my demonstration part, and I always ask, okay, the first person to tell me where they would take their Scentsy Go gets a ticket, and I get an answer. And then I'm like, okay, the next person. And I just go around the room, and everybody gets to pick a place that they would take their Scentsy Go that the person hasn't said before, and they're giving some extra tickets. So then we do another drawing. Now, the next thing we're going to do is the booking part of this game, of this party. And for the booking part, there's several different options you can go with. And I use all of them. Usually, I do party bags. And the party bag just basically says, it's a gift bag, and it says bag 1, bag 2, bag 3. And inside of these party bags, I've got basically a Hostess packet and a little sample. And I put a card in there, and on the card it says, you have won whatever, a car bar, a mini warmer, whatever you want to give away. It's different in each of the bags. Now, the reason it is on a card is because I'm not giving them that prize until they're actually at their party, okay? I always, always, always do Stack My Hostess. And what Stack My Hostess is, the items that I have brought, I'm very strategic. The items I bring are the items that a hostess could earn with a $500 party. So I pick somebody in the room, and usually it's the person I think will never, ever host a party. Okay, they'll never host a party. And I say, hey, Charlotte, will you be my pretend hostess? Now, I've kind of put her on the spot, and I'm like, you don't have to host a party. I'm not saying that at all, but will you be my pretend hostess? She will say yes. And so I said, okay, I want to show you guys what an average hostess gets at a party. Now, remember, what do I have on my table? I have what an average hostess gets for her party. And I just start taking it off the table. I'm like, okay, so $500, she gets 4 half-price items. Okay, she's going to use 2 for this diffuser. Put the diffuser boxes in her lap. She's going to use 1 for this warmer. I put the warmer in her bag. She's going to get this laundry love because she loves that laundry stuff. I grab all this laundry love stuff. I put it in her lap, okay? So I'm just filling her lap. A Scentsy Go. It's in her lap. And then I said, okay, so now she's got this much free. So what do you think she's going to get for free? I'm still pulling things off of the table. Now I say at the end of this, I'm like, okay, so somebody tell me the person with the closest guest is going to win another ticket What do you think she would pay for all of this if she paid for it out front? No party, just paid for it out front. I'll get all of these guesses. I'll give whoever's the closest will get a ticket. And then I say, okay, so what do you think she paid for as a hostess? I'll get all these guesses. Whoever's the closest gets a ticket. And then I say, okay, so here's the best deal. You can have a party, and I explain the different ways to have a party, online, basket, home. You can get all of this stuff, and you get to pick one of my goodie bags. And inside of my goodie bags, you never know what you're going to get. You could get a new warmer, you could get a new mini warmer, you could get a new plug-in, you could get 10% off of your next order. You just never know. Usually people will start taking the bags because they've now seen what she gets. Another great way to do this is I take, after I've done this hostess stacking, I take it, I'm like, I want to show you how you can do this for your Christmas. And I take out however many bags. Usually I can make 10 gifts. I take out 10 gift bags and I line them all up on the table, and I'm like, need a teacher gift? Okay, here's a room spray and a scent circle. Need a gift for your mother-in-law? Okay, here, we'll give her a diffuser. Need a gift for your sister? Here's a Scentsy Go. Need a gift for a friend? And I just split it all up, and I'm like, okay. So she spent $60, guys, and she made 10 Christmas gifts. It works every time. So after that, it's time now to go into my recruiting. Now, I have a treasure chest, and you will find that video also on my YouTube channel. And in my treasure chest is everything Scensy's ever meant for me. I've got little mementos, and I pull things out, and I'm like, Scentsy gave me my family back. Picture of my family. Scentsy gave me this. Picture of this. And it's my Scentsy story. And it's open, it's free, it's fun, it's easy. And then I say, okay, we're fixing to do the grand prize. But here's the last deal. If you agree right now, you will host a party. I'm going to give you 5 tickets. And a lot of people have already agreed, they've already got their bags, right? If you agree right now, you're going to talk to me about the business, you're going to get 10 tickets. So, we do that. I do the grand prize drawing. Now, the grand prize drawing is usually 10% off their order that night. Then it's time for sniffing. And I tell them, I get right in the middle of it with them. I want them to I want to be experiencing it with them. I want to smell with them. I want to enjoy it with them. I want to talk with them. They're smelling, they're laughing, they're having fun. It's just great, okay? And then as people start to finish up their smelling and stuff, I go to a separate area and I sit down with them and I said, this is the checkout time, okay? Now this is when I give them their slip. And I say to them, okay, now I need you to make sure you fill out everything in this top portion. It's super important. So as they're filling it out, I take their little slips they've marked off, like it or love it. I take out their wish list. And I'm like, okay, Sally, let's get you some great stuff. And we start going through the wish list. We go through this. We make their order. Every single person, before they leave my table, is asked, are you interested in hosting? Are you interested in becoming a consultant? I have picked out a couple of people beforehand, and so when she comes to my table, I'm like, Shelly, you have been so much fun. I think you would be a perfect fit with my team. Would you be interested in just getting together for coffee and chatting about it? Super, super easy. Okay, so, or you were so much fun. Would you get together with your friends? I'd love to meet them. Easy, 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 easy. So then, when the party is all over, I sit down with my hostess. Now, each of my hostesses, when I go, have a folder like this. This is Amanda's folder, okay? So when I go into her party, and she doesn't have this on there, but she has a folder like this. So I'm collecting all of these orders. I'm putting them in here. When it's time for the party to be done, now usually she's still going to have a few orders to collect. I flip this over. This is called flipping your hostess. And I write across here, I write party total. We add up whatever she's got so far. I write that number down. I write hostess benefits, and whatever that is, I write that number down. You know, 3 half price, $60 free, whatever it is. What I made. And I take whatever this total is here, and I take 25% of it, and I might write that number down. And I say, okay, Sally, here's the deal. You sold this much in product. You still have friends collecting orders, so this party's going to be even better. here's what your hostess gifts are. Oh, I have another column. I have bookings. And I write the number of bookings in circle. I'm like, here's the deal, Sally. See this number right here? That's what I made tonight. If you're interested at all in becoming a consultant, then you could make this. I'll give you this party. It's going to cost you $99 to sign up. You're going to make $100, so you've made your money back. You're going to enter all of these orders in, make your money back, become a consultant for free, and you have 2 parties. So you've got parties in the future. Most of the time, they will sign. Okay, so that is my home Scentsy parties. I hope it has helped. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me in the comments below. Thanks.